Oppan Gangnam Style.
This is my new favorite gadget. It is the Insta360 Flow, and over the last couple of months I have taken this thing absolutely everywhere with me, as I've been filming, vlogging, tracking, and just getting to grips, literally, with what they're calling the world's most advanced AI tracking smartphone stabilizer. And it will set you back $159.99 US, which I think, given everything this can do, which I'm about to show you, is pretty good value for money. Now, a big thank you to Insta360 for sending this out for me to have a play with and also working with me on this video. And if you do want to up your mobile shooting game, whether it's on iPhone or Android and for photos or videos, this is definitely worth checking out. And you simply slide your phone into this little grip, which then magnetically clamps onto the Flow, and away you go, that's it. Build quality is top notch, it looks smart, and most importantly, it folds up and can literally fit in your pocket. They also sent me this very cool little custom tech chap insert, so everyone will know this is mine. Get your own. Now, we've all seen mobile gimbals before, but they've taken the Flow to the next level. Firstly, this thing is built like the TARDIS. Somehow they've squeezed in a telescopic selfie stick that extends 21.5 centimeters, or a little under 8.5 inches in old money, which is great for getting wider shots for your vlogs and selfies. But then at the other end of the spectrum, the handle also extends, revealing this nifty built-in tripod for remote shots, time lapses, especially if you're shooting by yourself, or even just for, putting it down for a second. Now, the Flow has a 2900 mAh battery, which is good for up to 12 hours of use, and also it can fully charge in just 2 hours. But it can also top up your phone as well if you connect it via the USB-C port. Plus, we have this built-in cold shoe mount for maybe attaching an external microphone or maybe even a bigger light, although we do get this little guy bundled in the box. So you have your phone in the Flow. What next? Well, you can just use your phone's regular camera app, and you can see there, triple tap of the trigger actually spins it round, which is very handy if you want to do some selfies or vlogs with the higher quality rear cameras. I will admit, I do look a bit like a tourist right now with my gimbal, which is a little bit extended, so it looks a little bit like a selfie stick, but I'm actually here in Paris, and I'm getting some really nice shots. If I pan up with the joystick, there you go, the old Tour de Eiffel. I'm just walking around. It's so smooth. And because this is connected via Bluetooth, all these controls will work with any camera app, whether you're shooting in Instagram or TikTok or Filmic Pro or just the regular camera app, whatever you fancy. And then you can shoot super smooth video thanks to the built-in 3-axis gimbal, and also use the Flow's handy controls like switching the orientation, taking a photo or start recording, using the joystick to pan and tilt, double tap the trigger to reset the position, and a triple tap to turn the phone around. And with iPhones, the Insta360 app will detect when the Flow is attached and then send you a push notification, so you can open the app and get started with just one tap. It is so ridiculously smooth. And obviously I'm shooting this on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, unlike its little brother the Pro. These are basically like the kings of video anyway in terms of stabilization. So if you're using an older phone, the results will be even more impressive. But the real magic of this is when you experiment with all the different camera modes and the advanced AI tracking, so you'll want to download the Insta360 app and pair your Flow. And you'll find all your usual controls. You can switch lenses, go between the back and front cameras, change the resolution, frame rate, add filters, and even more advanced stuff like adding an on-screen histogram. And also at the top right, you can see here it displays the battery of both your phone and the Flow. And to start tracking, you simply take your finger and drag a little box around your subject. And so this Deep Track 3.0 technology, as they call it, lets the Flow rotate and follow you in real time. There's even a live mode for tracking while you're on a video call or if you're streaming. Now, these are my buddies Tim and Taylor, and we're at our weekly squash game. I know, we're so cool, although it is very good exercise. And you can track basically anything that you drag your little green box around, although I have found it works best with people or even faces in particular. And I really like this auto zoom option. So I've got Tim's face being tracked, so it will slowly zoom in or out to keep his face, or well, head in the center of the frame. They will also be adding gesture control, so you can raise your palm and it'll activate the tracking, so you don't actually have to touch your phone. One of the suggestions for the tracking is household chores, which doesn't sound particularly exciting, although maybe a dinner life sounds a little bit better. Either way, what you can do is watch me make a cup of tea in my kitchen as the phone tracks me around. But I can definitely imagine for like being more relatable to your audience, if you're making vlogs or doing how-to videos for DIY or something, and you want to go to your workbench over here and then the product over here perhaps. There's a ton of reasons and ways you might want to use this that are probably a little bit more exciting than me making a cup of tea. Okay, while that's brewing, let's see if it'll track me right round here as well. Look at that, there we go. Definitely a bit backlit, but this is Sylvie. And then this is the behind the scenes camera shooting my iPhone on the flow, which is shooting me. And that is just a little test of the AI tracking. But to play with some of the other modes, I think we should go somewhere a little bit more interesting than my kitchen. Like maybe South Korea? I told you I'd take this thing everywhere with me, but this should be a pretty good opportunity to test out some more of the modes. Now you can switch to FPV mode if you want to be a bit more adventurous, like spinning your phone or doing barrel rolls, although I generally leave it in auto mode where the gimbal adjusts the settings based on my movement, and I love that depending on the scene it'll actually pop up some suggestions for different templates that you can follow and maybe use as creative inspiration, and there's 80 different types. We have panorama mode, so if you set the flow up on its tripod, it can capture up to a 360-degree panorama, and in fact this is the first phone stabilizer that's capable of shooting 360 photos. Then there's time shift, which is not to be confused with the very underrated 2007 time-jumping video game, and it's basically like a stabilized hyperlapse, and it's great for filming a long walk, or if you're traveling or exploring, or maybe just wandering around Gangnam in Seoul and checking out the beautiful cherry blossoms. Then there's motion time-lapse, which is great for capturing a sunset or just watching the world go by. You've also got a Dolly Zoom option, so you can kind of recreate that classic Hollywood effect with just one tap, and it's great for zooming in and out of a subject. So the flow is not just about stabilizing your video, it's a selfie stick, a tripod, a power bank, it can follow you around the room, and it gives you the tools to make your content even more dynamic, and it fits in your pocket. If you've got any questions at all about this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll also leave a link in the description if you fancy checking this out and maybe buying one for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, a like and subscribe would be lovely, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.